This is part 21 of my series on my N-gauge model railway project. Previous parts covered the project from its inception through the creation of the baseboard, selection and laying of track, building of scenic items, obtaining rolling stock, etc. The project is ongoing. Recent parts have also featured all the actual video of running on the layout and more to come. This part features some more recently acquired rolling stock, 4 distinctive wagons and 3 new locomotives, 1 from eBay and 2 from Jane's Trains of Tooting. All classic LMS, that being the focus of my prototype. Here are the new wagons as they arrived in their boxes. All new Pico wagons, these. Sadly, these were bought as replacements for a used set that was stolen from my porch before I could take them in after the courier delivered them. A couple of tanker wagons, Royal Daylight and Yorkshire Tar. These are my first tanker wagons for this layout, but I do have more coming, including some kits to build up. And an egg wagon and a Coleman's mustard wagon. Coleman's mustard dates all the way back to 1814, but I'm not entirely sure if this wagon design is really correct for my period, the 1930s. Still, it certainly does remind me of home. Coleman's was the only mustard my mother ever bought. Here are the new wagons on the back of a train. And another close-up of them on the train. And round by Colville Station, and the whole train round behind Bilston Holt. That's the Graham Farish Ginty pulling, current production, one of the few LMS locos you can still actually buy new in N-gauge. This Ginty can barely get up a gradient with this train. As usual, wheel slip is the problem. And here's the next arrival, a Graham Farish Duchess of Albicorn, bought used on eBay. Farish don't currently sell anything in LMS crimson livery. Indeed, I don't think anyone does, as a new loco. Here's the Duchess with the lid off her box. This is, of course, one of Stanier's big Pacifics, technically a coronation class. The same class as the streamlined LMS coronation locos. This is just a non-streamlined version. And indeed the streamlining was removed from those that had it later in the 40s. Here's the Duchess on the tracks. This is an older Farish loco and not extremely detailed. You can see there's no separate rails, they're just cast on. But it's a solid model, very heavy, and a good run, smooth runner and a good puller. Here she is pulling 360-foot corridor coaches. She could pull a lot more than this. This was just all I put on at the moment. I like the lamp on the back of the brake loco. Very proper, of course. The last car in a train should always have a lamp for visibility, and so it can always be determined if the train is complete. Very important when exiting a block. Here's the Duchess with her coaches coming up past the yard and in Colville Station. And here are the next arrivals from Jane's Trains of Tooting. A Graham Farish Jubilee class Trafalgar and a Union Mills 3F ex-Midland 3F 060 tender engine. Both supposedly an LMS crimson, although the makers clearly have rather different ideas about that colour. Here's the Union Mills 3F pulling a short goods train up the gradient. It can actually pull a lot more than this. This is only my second Union Mills loco, the other being the G2 Super D, and both are excellent pullers. They're heavy engines, mostly made of metal. Not super detailed, it's true. Here's the 3F closer. That collar does seem a bit strange, I have to say. And a close-up, a bit out of focus, I'm afraid. A little paint might improve that in some ways. And here's the Jubilee Trafalgar pulling a suburban train past Scrapped-Off Station. And here's that train coming over past the yard. And round by Bilston, the farm and the tunnel. Past the bus waiting at the crossing. And through the back of Colville Station. And here's a close-up coming under the viaduct. It was only when looking at this picture that I realized this engine was missing its nameplates. The detail pack was still in the box unopened. but no nameplates. Not sure how this came about. I tried to buy etched Trafalgar nameplates, but I found they're not obtainable in N-gauge. Fox transfers do make a set in 00 gauge, but for some reason, although they do many other Jubilees, they don't do Trafalgar in N-gauge. So I resorted to making paper nameplates. I made up graphics files and printed them on my rather iffy old colour printer. Not an ideal solution, but better than nothing. And they don't look too bad from a distance, though you don't really want to focus on them too closely. The left side is worse than the right. As you may imagine, cutting something this tiny out of paper and sticking them to the loco was extremely fiddly. And now for some running video of the new stock. Okay, let's see if we can bring the new Union Mills. Oops, going too far. I missed the right track with that one. We want to bring him out of the shed he's in there. The famous last words. Never decide which way that's going to go. I mean, at one point I thought I'd figured it out, but oh, I guess that was right. Anyway, okay, and now we'll take him out. We'll take him out and we're going to pick up a goods train with him. And let's see if we can pick up this goods train. I need to set another point down there. Yep. Okay. So now we'll see if we can bring that goods train round with the Union Mills 060 tender engine. I always get the 3Fs and the 4Fs confused, tell you the truth, because they look basically pretty much the same. Yeah, see, now he pulls that up the incline fine. The Graham Farish Ginty can barely pull that train up the incline because it gets wheel slip. But this is, you know, this may not be such a detailed looking engine, but it's heavier, so it pulls better. Their concept of LMS, I believe I did set that point correctly, yes, so he doesn't derail at the point there. Union Mills' concept of LMS Crimson is a bit more like post office, you know, the old post box red than I would have expected it to be, quite frankly. But and there's the 4 new wagons are also on the back there, the 2 tanks and the Coleman's mustard and the egg wagon. Let them go by and then we'll see if we can do a bit of a pass with them closer to with the other camera. Okay, let's put the brakes on there. Famous last words. He's actually not really quite braking, is he? He's edging down there. let's see if we can do a slow pass of this train. And once more. And now we'll try and put him back into the siding where the train started from. There we go. So now I'm going to try and bring the new Duchess out of the siding there with some coaches. No chuff-chuff on the outer line currently, but that's going to change because I'm going to add chuff-chuff to the outer line. Here's the Duchess with her coaches in Scraptop Station. Yes, I know we could use some better lighting. But we'll pull out there. And once more slowly through. And one more pass of the Duchess. Now let's see if I can bring round the Jubilee Trafalgar. Well, not giving her quite enough steam up the incline there. She's a fairly good puller, but she was getting a little stuck there because I wasn't giving her quite enough steam. Got, what, 6 coaches on her? Suburban coaches they are, actually. See if we can do a slow close pass with that train. I can do. And it's got stuck on the viaduct then. They're trying to go a little too slowly there. Needed a little bit of help to get it across the viaduct. The viaduct's still a bit sticky. And we'll try once more to do a fairly slow pass. It really does not like going slowly across that viaduct. It'll go across it, but only if you give it a little bit of speed. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to go across the viaduct without stopping this time. See, it goes across it. I'm not trying to crawl. You just can't crawl across the viaduct. You try and crawl across the viaduct and it tends to get, not just this engine, virtually any engine tends to get stuck crawling across the viaduct. Let's just see the train passing through Colville Station. Maybe speaking, passing round the back of Colville Station. Okay, now I'm going to bring the train back into Colville Station and we'll leave it there. Brakes on. And there we go. I think we'll leave her there. Okay, maybe we'll just give this train another try round. Adjust the speed of both trains to something slightly sensible there. Barely changed the point in time before he hit it going the wrong way. There gets to be too many things to think about when you're trying to run two trains. Well, they're both running on rails now that shouldn't need any more point changes, so slow that one down just a little bit and speed this one up just a little bit maybe. There you go. Despite the fact I have two control domes, I don't really run two trains at once very often because it's hard enough trying to figure out what's going on with one train and keep the points set right for it and whatever without trying to worry about two at once. But there you go. Yeah, you got two LMS passenger trains running round at once. The Duchess of Albicorn pulling 3 60-foot coaches and the LMS Jubilee Trafalgar pulling 5 suburban coaches. Just coming up over the Trafalgar's just coming up over the viaduct there. The Duchess of Albicorn's just going through Colville Station at some speed. Are they ever going to catch up with each other? Well, they're both going to come round pretty much quite close together now in the foreground. There you go, Duchess of Albicorn is just sort of, there you go, yes, they're running pretty close to each other through the tunnel there. Duchess of Albicorn there, Duchess of Albicorn should definitely overtake now. The Jubilee is going up the gradient there. Well, there you go.